Michael, good afternoon. We're here at the first iBestuur Mobility in The Hague, where more than 400 delegates from the central government visited this new Babylon around the topic mobility. Michael, you're the VP Northern Region of Good Technology. How has been your last 12 months within the government around enterprise mobility?
Well, first of all, thank you for this interview. I think it's indeed an impressive event. Why impressive? Look at the turn-up, more than 400 people. Yep. And you can see clearly that mobility is top of mind at public sector. What we have seen over the last 12 months within Good Technology is that customers are way more demanding on mobility than ever before, to transform their processes, to mobilize more of their processes, and also to enable mobility across the whole company, not just the executives.
There's a trend, and we've spoken about with Gartner, that this enterprise mobility management, EMM, is the next big thing on the horizon. Do you feel the same?
Well, I don't think enterprise mobility management is specifically the new trend. I do think that customers are thinking of mobility across the whole company, so they want to have a strategy and a platform in place. And if you label that as EMM, yes.
Yes. Good Technology has been known as a strong party for the central government, have a strong incumbent position. How do you see this trend evolving in the next, say, 12 to 18 months, Michael?
I think that's an interesting question, and I do have a strong opinion about it. I think public sector will change their model not only towards the employee, but also towards the civilian. So how do they interact with the civilian, and how do they interact with their contractors and partners? So do you want to mobilize that? And I think the answer is yes. And how do you do that? Yeah.
Comes then back to critical changes and also challenges for these central government bodies. What do you think are the key challenges for those bodies that they should be looking at?
Well, the priority one is security. How do you overcome the security problem? I think security and privacy are the main things, the main inhibitors of public sector entities to go mobile or to enable mobility across their organization, or mobilizing their contractors or civilians. Yes.
We've seen this trend, of course, in the last decade. You've got some other companies speaking about the bring your own device and choose your own device. Michael, is this still a thing? This is on the agenda from the CIO of the government, or is it a fragmenting trend?
No, it's massive. I mean, people, you want to let them work on any type of device. It's their personal experience, it's their customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, but it's also a cost-driven element. So we've seen both bring your own device, but also choose your own device being very successful. And I think the hybrid model will stay very lively.
The challenge of a leading company such as yourself is that there's a lot of competition around you. We've got Mobile, we've got Airwatch, we've got actually all the other big players today here. What do you think is going to be the role of Good, and say again in the next 12 to 18 months?
Well, I think you've seen a lot of consolidation in the mobility market.
Yes, we have.
And we've been around since '96, and we've seen a lot of changes. I think what you will see now, and what we'll see in the next sort of 12 to 18 months, is how do you mobilize any back-end type of content of your data center onto the mobile device. And that's irrespective of if it's an employee, a partner, or a contractor. Yeah. And how do you deal with that? And I think that's again labeled as mobility as that's mobile backend as a service. Yeah. So mobile backend as a service is a new label by Gartner. We've been recognized for that, and we've invented that, I would say, 3 years ago. So how can you expose any backend type of data to any type of application or mobile device, whether that's bring your own device, choose your own device, a smartphone, a tablet, a wearable. How do you deal with that? And we enable that independent of the platform of app development. Yes. Yeah. And I think that's fundamental in defining your mobility strategy. So I think there's a lot of growth there.
Yeah. I think an interesting challenge ahead. Thank you for your time, Michael. Have a very great night.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.